mentor, who is Christine, is a fraud, right? And then ended up posting false information. And after he did that, he also posted another post after we had already used the courts. He posted something else inviting students. These are students that had maybe been let go by the school. Maybe they didn't perform very well, or maybe they, whatever it may have been, invited those students to say negative things about our school. And
good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mwenda Njagi. I'm the advocate on record for Christine Nyambura Muturi alias Christina Lewis, Yvonne Mogore, Westwick Institute Limited. I also act alongside Mr. Ndege and Mr. Ian Kibugi. My apologies, I had another matter in Thika for Sted Developers Limited, which also has elicited similar publicity, which has made me delay. My apologies for that. I think I'll just speak.
Same thing that the government is doing, which is exporting labor. But we feel like we've been targeted by people like Edgar Obare. When he targeted us and posted false information about our school, Westwick College, about Christine and myself, it caused a negative effect, right? Ripple effect. With Westwick College, we lost.
My name is Mwenda Njagi. I'm the advocate on record for Christine Nyambura Muturi alias Christina Lewis, Yvonne Mogore, Westwick Institute Limited. I also act alongside Mr. Ndege and Mr. Ian Kibugi. My apologies, I had another matter in Thika for Sted Developers Limited, which also has elicited similar publicity, which has made me delay. My apologies for that. I think I'll just speak to the court order, which was issued yesterday in relation to Milimani Commercial Courts, MCC or civil case number E227 of 2024. That is Edgar Obare, he was applicant defendant, versus Christine Nyambura Muturi alias Christina Lewis, who was the first plaintiff stroke respondent, Tina Lewis, Yvonne Mogore, and Westwick Institute Limited. The upshot of this particular order should be looked into the context of other two orders which have been issued before this matter, as has been heard and determined by the Honorable B.M. Chelotti, Principal Magistrate. Basically, the genesis of this issue arose when the said Edgar Obare, through his Twitter handles and his social media platforms, uttered defamatory words in relation to the mentioned individuals who have suffered irreparable loss. And it's very unfortunate because, as an opinion leader who we respect and well known as a blogger, Edgar Obare should know that his right of expression and right of speech ends where the rights and the freedoms of another individual start. Simply meaning, it cannot be that because you have a right of expression and right of speech, that you go ahead and defame or utter malicious statements to an individual who is helpless and who may not necessarily have the same media platform to respond accordingly. When these statements, which I think are well known to us, were presented and aired in the media, we wrote a demand letter to the said Edgar Obare requesting him to pull down, extract, and delete those defamatory words to my clients. Instead, he opted to go ahead and broadcast further and not comply with that demand. My clients, being aggrieved, did the right thing before the eyes of God and man and filed a civil case in Milimani, and the court found that they had a case which had overwhelming chances of success, and the first order was an order of injunction. That order of injunction restrained the said Edgar Obare from four things. One, he was stopped from further broadcasting or from further airing of information pertaining to my good client who is on my left here, Yvonne Mogore, and the director of Westwick Institute, Christina Lewis, who I think is around, and the very able students who are behind me for Westwick Institute Limited. The law is very clear that if somebody is aggrieved or unhappy with a court order, you have two options. One, you can file for a review before the same court and ask it to set it aside, or you can move to the High Court or a higher court to appeal. Regrettably, they said Edgar Obare did not do the two options that were provided for in law, but he refused to pull down, he refused to extract those defamatory words, and he refused to give an apology as the court order had dictated. Felt aggrieved by that action because court orders are not issued in vain. And I want to say this to the members of the press, and I'm happy that you are here, that as a civilized society, when people do not respect court orders, we are likely to go back to the rule of the jungle, the law of anarchy, because if somebody can get a court order and they're not able to enjoy the fruits of that order, then people will be forced to use extrajudicial ways to satisfy their rights. And that's not an area we would wish to be or find ourselves into. When Edgar Obare refused to comply and we served his lawyers to that effect, they came to court and said whatever they said, and they had the right of reply, so he was aware of those particular court orders. So he filed for contempt, and the court allowed our prayers for contempt because the court felt that having a court order and somebody not complying with it, then it shows the highest level of disrespect, the highest level of contempt, and the highest level of disregard of the rule of law. So when we went to court yesterday, the matter was coming for purposes of warrants of arrest to issue because he has already been found in contempt. What that simply means is that having been found in contempt, he has two options. One, he should present himself in court and the court will pronounce itself on the question of fine, or issue a jail term as the court may please, a jail term not exceeding 6 months. Because now this case has moved from civil to criminal. And I say, speak to you, I'm under instructions to tell you as members of the press that the said Edgar Obare is now a fugitive, whom my clients have offered 100,000 for anybody who may tell us the whereabouts of the said particular person, because he should present himself in court as per order 1 of this particular court order, and I will read it verbatim. That the Honorable Court hereby issues summons or warrant of arrest orders to the issue for Director of Criminal Investigation to present the defendant hereby being Edgar Obare, to court for appropriate reliefs and sanctions. The order was issued on 7th of March 2024, and the case is slated for 3rd of April 2024. This particular order, I think my office has made an effort to serve the DCI today, but we don't have to belabor and look for him, because we can also have that right to enjoy and to exercise what these orders say. It's only fair that the Edgar Obare should present himself to the DCI, or if the DCI is not presented, if he doesn't present himself to them, then they should do what they're supposed to do. And the reason why my clients moved to court is that they had no other platform to ventilate and tell their side of story. My clients were condemned and heard. And I think as members of the press, you know, a right of reply. Even if somebody has an issue with my good client here, Yvonne Mogore or Tina Levis or Westwick Institute Limited, the decent and the honorable thing to do is to give those allegations to that person, and the person responds. But it's very unfortunate when you broadcast malicious, scandalous, and defamatory articles without according my client right of reply. She just saw those articles on the media, just like all of us. Having said that, there are also some matters that came because the students were very worried about their tertiary education, and these are young people who are trying to eke out a living amid its very severe and hard economic situation, who have endeavored to seek a better life. But when you admonish a school, when you admonish personalities, when you go ahead and admonish very hardworking ladies, it shows the disregard of the law. As I close, my client here, and I think that's something you have filed in court, which is available for public scrutiny, has lost 1.8 million contract from a US company whereby she was an influencer. And I think all of you, because I believe you are in that space, you can understand some of us or some of you earn a living by the reputation you have. So she had a card, like a pay card for swiping, whereby she was the brand ambassador for that company. And when they saw that particular article broadcasted by Edgar Obare, they wrote a termination letter. So she's now shortfall of 1.8 million, which she
A month.
1.8 million a month, which she used to earn because of her brand, which she has built all of us. And I can see you've taken a while to build your brand. So when somebody just goes ahead and broadcast very defamatory articles, they don't know that it goes to the heart of your career, it goes to the heart of your family, and it even has economic and financial implications. Those are some of the damages you shall be seeking pursuant to order number 2, which says that the parties shall file on terms of settlement, because we shall be seeking damages to the tune of around 33 million for damages that my client has suffered on these particular damages, and we shall quantify it appropriately when the time comes. At this stage, I wish to welcome any questions or clarifications from all of you.